Yung sobrang catch maririnig mo ang bawat beat na magpap... Taga, Sabela.
Thorn pa sa akin eh. Yeah, pero
Saka para magamit natin yung kwan. Kahit ito, bumili siya ng reflection.
So, I've been reflecting on Second Corinthians chapter 12 verses 7 to 10, and the more I sit with it, the more I realize how deeply personal and relatable it actually is. Before Paul even talks about the thorn in the flesh, he shares that he experienced something incredible. He was caught up to the third heaven. These were extraordinary spiritual revelations, the kind that could easily make someone feel elevated or even proud. And that's exactly why verse 7 begins the way it does. To keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh. That line already tells us so much about God. It shows that God doesn't just bless us, He also knows how to keep us grounded. He knows how to balance our lives. If we only experience blessings, it would be so easy for pride to quietly take over. So, in His wisdom, He sometimes allows burdens as well, not to harm us, but to shape us. Now, when Paul says thorn in the flesh, what does that actually mean? The word thorn here refers to something sharp like a stake. It's not something small or mild, but something painful, something that pierces. It carries the idea of ongoing distress, not just a one time discomfort. And the truth is, we don't actually know what Paul's thorn was. Some believe it could have been a physical condition, possibly an issue with his eyes, especially when you look at passages like Galatians 6, verse 11. Others think it could have been persecution, spiritual opposition, or some kind of internal struggle. But scripture doesn't specify it clearly, and that's actually a good thing because it allows us to see ourselves in this passage. Whatever our thorn may be, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, or situational, we are able to relate to what Paul experienced and apply the same truth to our own lives. What we do know is that this thorn was ongoing. It wasn't something that came and went quickly, it stayed, it was persistent. And Paul even calls it a messenger of Satan, which shows that it felt like real opposition, something painful and difficult. And yet, God allowed it. That's important because it reminds us that even the things that feel like setbacks or struggles are not outside of God's control. He can still use them for a purpose. In Paul's case, the purpose was very clear. It was to keep him humble and dependent on God, especially after experiencing such great spiritual highs. Paul didn't just accept it quietly either. He says he pleaded with the Lord 3 times to take it away. He brought his struggle to God honestly and repeatedly. That alone is comforting because it shows that faith doesn't mean pretending everything is okay. It means bringing what is real to God. But instead of removing the thorn, God responded with something else. In verse 9, Jesus said, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." God didn't give Paul an explanation, He gave him a promise. My grace is sufficient means that what God provides is enough. His grace is not lacking, it is not limited, it is enough to sustain, to strengthen, and to carry us, even if the situation itself does not change. And then he says, "For my power is made perfect in weakness." That means God's power is most clearly seen not when we are strong and self sufficient, but when we are aware of our limitations. Weakness is not a barrier to God's power, it is actually the place where His power is fully displayed. And that changes how we see our struggles. The moments when we feel the most overwhelmed, the most tired, or the most incapable are often the very moments where God is working most powerfully in us because we are no longer relying on ourselves. And Paul understood this, which is why he could say, "Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses." He realized that his weakness was not something to hide or be ashamed of. It was the very thing that allowed him to experience the strength of Christ in a deeper way. And I think this is something many of us need to be reminded of. When we go through something painful, it is easy to question God's love or His presence. We wonder if we did something wrong or if we are being left behind. But this passage shows us that suffering does not automatically mean God is absent. Sometimes it is actually evidence that He is working in us in a deeper way. God uses these moments to humble us, to teach us endurance, and to draw us closer to Him. He uses them to remind us that we are not meant to rely on our own strength. When I look back on my own life, I can honestly say that the most difficult seasons were the ones that led to the most growth. They were the times that pushed me to pray more, to trust more, and to depend on God in ways I never would have if everything had been easy. So, maybe the thorn you're carrying right now isn't a sign that God doesn't love you. Maybe it's actually evidence of His love, and He's using it to teach you to rely on His grace in a way comfort never could. Because in the end, God does not always give us the answers we are looking for, but He gives us something greater: His presence, His strength, and His grace. And His grace is enough.
Oh, there's more pa there. This isang
Tapos try isang regular.